Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a question that I think anyone who's ever tried to build a new habit has asked themselves. Does a small, daily effort really make a difference? Or is real change only for, the marathoners? We're going to explore this through the wisdom of the ancient Lotus Sutra.
So it's this question that comes up for so many of us, right? Especially with a practice like chanting. You manage to carve out what, maybe 15 minutes a day? And you can't help but wonder, is this actually enough to make a dent? Or does real transformation demand something way more, epic?
So, the Lotus Sutra, which is a foundational text here, offers this really fascinating answer. But at first glance, it almost seems like it's contradicting itself. So first, let's explore the side of the argument that really champions the power of just a single powerful moment.
Okay, so the Lotus Sutra comes right out of the gate with this incredibly bold claim that you can gain this really profound spiritual benefit from a surprisingly brief engagement with its teachings. And we're not talking years or even months, we're talking about a single moment.
So here's the key, according to the sutra. It isn't about how long you practice, but the quality of that moment. The real powerhouse is genuine, sincere belief. It's all about your heart's receptivity, not about the ticking of a clock.
And to really put this into perspective, the sutra makes this comparison that is, honestly, it's pretty radical. It suggests that a single moment of sincere belief can generate more virtue than practicing all 5 perfections. That's charity, morality, patience, energy, and meditation for countless eons. That is just an astonishing claim. It puts all the power in the quality of our faith, not the quantity of our time.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. The text gives us a really vivid story to make the point. This classic tale is a perfect example of this whole principle in action, and believe me, it challenged a lot of the traditional views of its time.
So this young princess, she achieves the ultimate spiritual goal. Not after lifetimes of struggle, but boom, in an instant. And how did she do it? By hearing the sutra and meeting it with this genuine, open-hearted receptivity. It's a story that just goes to show the transformative power is already there. It's inherent in the teaching itself, just waiting to be unlocked by a sincere heart.
But, okay, just as we're getting comfortable with that idea, the sutra presents what seems like a completely contradictory perspective. It pivots to emphasize a much, much longer journey, one that requires immense dedication over these vast stretches of time.
And on this side of the argument, the text is just as clear. It points to the Buddha's own tireless search, which took countless eons. It describes the path of a bodhisattva, someone dedicated to enlightening all beings, as a journey of unimaginable, long-term effort. From this angle, virtues aren't instantaneous. They're cultivated slowly, diligently, through consistent practice.
The sutra explains this with this really beautiful analogy. It compares some teachings of nirvana, these states of peace and release, to rest stops on a very, very long road. Now, they're essential. They're places to recharge, created so travelers don't get discouraged and just give up, but they aren't the final destination. True nirvana, full Buddhahood, requires you to get back on the road and keep going.
So, what is it? A single moment or a lifetime of effort? This feels like a total paradox. But the answer isn't either or, it's actually both and. And there's one key concept from the text that brilliantly connects these two seemingly opposite ideas.
The concept that bridges this whole gap is known as upaya, or skillful means. And this is the game changer. It's the Buddha's ability to tailor a teaching perfectly to the person hearing it. With upaya, that single moment isn't a shortcut that bypasses the road. No. Instead, it's a powerful seed, skillfully planted to meet you exactly where you are and begin the entire journey.
Think of it this way. That moment of sincere belief, that single chant you do, it's not about replacing the marathon. It's about giving you the most powerful, divinely engineered starting block you can imagine. It makes that very first step profoundly meaningful and effective, and it sets the entire trajectory for the whole journey ahead.
So let's bring this all back down to earth. What does this all mean for you and your 15-minute daily practice? How do we take this really profound philosophy and apply it in a real, tangible way?
Okay, so here's the playbook for how we can make our practice count. First, value every moment. Know that each effort plants a powerful seed. Second, choose consistency over these long sessions that just lead to burnout. Third, and this is huge,
focus on sincerity, because the quality of our faith is what truly matters. And finally, trust your path. Know that your 15 minutes is a perfectly valid and powerful place to start.
You know, the sutra itself is incredibly encouraging on this point. It acknowledges the journey is vast, but it affirms that you shouldn't lose heart. It encourages you to contribute in whatever way you can, right now. Even small acts of seeking wisdom have a profound impact.
So in the end, this completely reframes the entire question. It's not about choosing between a single moment and a lifetime of effort. The lifetime of effort is built from single, sincere moments. The journey begins with one step. So the real question isn't how much time you have, but what sincerity you bring to the time you give. What seed will you plant today?